Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Justin, it's November, I think 5th right now, and as always, we're in the office.
Yeah, the last place we want to be on November 5th is here in this studio. But, you know, we got to do it. We got a show to show you. Guys, as you can see, we've got some antlers sitting in front of us this week. For longtime viewers of the show, you may recognize the STD buck. Everybody always asks about him. So, Todd, what's the update?
Well, the update, he definitely was officially dead on arrival.
The update is that STD is no longer with us. You know, one of the guys that hunts out on the farm there, EJ, actually harvested this deer yesterday morning.
Yes, he did. Let's go ahead and take a look at this buck.
Well, for several years now, we've talked about a buck called STD, and I tell you what, for all those bad news bears out there who says you can't kill deer in hot weather, well, here's proof that they absolutely move in hot weather. It's November 4th. I mean, it's going to get up to over 72 degrees today. EJ comes into town, puts a hurt into me, Justin, all the guys that spent a lot of time chasing this buck around. EJ made an awesome shot. I mean, a perfect heart shot. This deer literally, how far did this deer go, EJ?
Maybe 100 yards only?
Yeah, I mean, 100 yards. The blood trail was amazing. And, I mean, truly an Illinois giant. I mean, you are ruined for life, my friend. That is for sure. Where are you going to go from here now?
Only place is up.
Canada, huh?
Yeah.
you better. I mean, this is the giant buck, guys. I mean, this is incredible. This is what we think about as whitetail hunters, right? I mean, this is what we dream about, that day when you turn your head and bam, here comes that monster buck. Well, congratulations. I mean, this is truly a giant deer. And, I mean, I can't be any more happier for you, man. I mean, this is an awesome, awesome animal. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Justin,
Yes,
we
Tom.
were put to shame by EJ.
EJ definitely put us to shame. Many years of chasing that deer, a lot of encounters, you know, shed antlers. Tommy picked up this set 2 years ago. I picked up this one last winter. One of the other guys on the farm picked up the match to it. So he was definitely a much sought after deer, but EJ beat us to the punch. So
He
congratulations.
smoked us. Not just us. I mean, a bunch of other guys that were
a
chasing
lot
this
of
deer.
people chasing that deer around. EJ was the lucky one.
We
and-
might as well have them go down with us too, right?
Well, hey, man, when he had an opportunity, he made it count. So good for him. You know, it was a great deer. I mean, 170-inch, you know, 8-point is a world-class deer. So that's probably the deer of a lifetime for him. So congratulations,
sure.
Definitely a mega buck. But guys, next up, the first you know, real hunt of the show that we're gonna air is Todd's buck, the big wide one that everybody was asking for. Everybody was mad. All the YouTube guys were mad. They were like, "Where is Todd's big wide buck?" So this hunt, guys, is for you. Let's check that out now.
The wind is finally starting to settle down. This reminds me of my 192 that I killed. Nice corner. This is a good spot. Good scrapes. I mean, anything can happen here. Pushing her around big time. Well, I am in the stand right now, early. It's 2 o'clock. Yeah, maybe 2:30. wanted to get in here early tonight. It's the last night of this cold pressure system. I got a killer big mock scrape below me here. They've been using it like crazy. Actually, 2 of the bucks I like to shoot have been frequently hitting that spot. They come out of this draw right here and right into this food plot. Honestly, I haven't been here in about a week now. I got in here, hung the stand. I've been leaving this thing alone for a south wind. I finally got it. It's coming right at my face. It's going right out that way. It's actually a little southeast. So we got big winds coming tomorrow and rain for a couple of days. So this is going to be my last attempt for a couple of days. So Justin smoked a big one this morning. I'm so happy for him. I mean, it's a dandy. I'm really happy for him. It's awesome. So it's going to be a long sit tonight, but I'm comfortable. I'm ready. I am set, guys. I've been playing this buck here now, or I should say this buck's been playing me now for at least since the opener. I mean, literally on the opener, he was here almost 4 days in a row. I mean, literally 4 days in a row. This buck, BMW's been laying up on top of this hillside here. As you can tell, it's windy as heck, so I moved the set. He's been appearing literally right there. Either comes around this bend or he's right there. So, Bowhunter Die, guys, this is what it's all about, man. It's go time now. It's October 18th and these bucks are moving. I've never seen a buck that wide in my life. I came in here. I moved the stand literally at 1 o'clock. I slid over here. I was so hot. I had to like strip down to my underwear, I'm serious, just to cool off because it was 73 degrees. Don't let the bad news bears of warm weather not make you go out. I've learned that time and time again. Don't worry about how hot it is. When you start getting into this primo time, the 15th through the 30th, my favorite time to hunt, guys. Oh my God. Justin will like this. Craig says, is it bigger than Justin's?
Okay guys, Scott and I just got to the spot where I shot the buck. I mean, literally we're standing within feet of where he was shot. So in a second, we'll show you the set that I was in. But here we go. You know what? We're gonna start with the beginning, even though we know roughly the direction he ran. I mean, this is just great experience. Every time when you can start from the beginning and take your time is always my best advice. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can find the arrow, find the immediate blood from the spot of impact here, and just follow the trail. Let's see what we got. Join us.
All right, guys. Let's see here. Stand. He did take off running pretty quick. It's not a lot of blood right there, but that's definitely a lot. Okay, now it's spraying big time. Here we go. Okay, guys. We got good blood right here. Right here. Got more blood here. Now it's starting to see it. All right, we got blood right there. Gosh, Scott, I thought by watching that video he would be pretty close to in here. Oh man, I got him. I see him, Scott. Come on, come with me. He is wide as heck, Scott. Holy cow. Scott. I've never seen a buck that wide before. Unbelievable, huh? Oh man, that is wide.
Man, this is how I wanted to start my 2015 season off. You know, I've moved the stand 3 times. Honestly, I don't have a lot of pictures of this buck, but I'll tell you what, when I turned and I saw this wide buck coming, there wasn't a doubt in my mind whether I wanted to shoot or not. I mean, this deer is about the widest looking deer I've ever seen coming through the woods before. I mean, this thing is just, he's just awesome. But man, I tell you what, I got lucky that the one buck didn't completely ruin it for me. I mean, he definitely, he busted me for sure. And I was able to get the shot off. I had to make a final camera adjustment there, which really was pretty, it got pretty intense there at the last second. But man, I tell you, this deer couldn't have gone more than 40, 50 yards tops. So I'm pumped. I mean, he is just a cool looking deer for sure. Oh man, guys, bow hunt or die. The season's just beginning. We got the rut ahead of us, so get your bow, take some extra shots, and get out there.
Well, Todd, once again, you managed to not only make a great shot, but under pressure, deer all over the place, cameras are running. I mean, from my perspective, looking at it, when I watched the footage, I was like, that right there is kind of for me, the epitome of a perfect self-filmed hunt. From start to finish, it was awesome. I loved it. You did good. You did good.
You know, there's no question about it. I mean, a lot of people watch the show and they can't appreciate, you know, the work that goes into self-filming. I mean, carrying all the gear, all the cameras, the batteries, charging everything, keeping track of everything. It's a lot. I mean, I'll be the first to admit. I mean, and then I'll be honest. I mean, I thought I was busted. I knew that one had me pinned, and I had to make that final adjustment because I knew if I let that arrow fly, I would have paid the price.
Well, I just think that's the coolest part of the hunt for me is, you know, being able to see with that bird's eye view what you're doing with your cameras right before the shot. I mean, you come to full draw, you look down, and I've been there before, and you realize, oh, the deer's not in the frame, or you know, he's kind of cut off. So I mean, you're at full draw, moving your camera with your elbow or your bowstring or something to get that deer back in frame. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we go through. And to a certain extent, I mean, we talked about it last week, the mental aspect of pulling off a good shot. And when you're under that much stress to get it on film and do all of that, you really have to take that extra second just to make sure your pin is in the right spot before you let that arrow go. And you know, this is one of those cases where that arrow found its mark. I mean, it was picture perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely happy with the shot. I mean, everything worked out, you know, ultimately the way you hope it works out when you step into that tree stand that day. But, you know, I mean, really a lot of work went into that deer. I mean, seriously, I went into that spot at least 4 or 5 different times, checking trail cameras, and that's generally what I don't do. I mean, really. I mean, I usually try to stay out of my spots, but, you know, the intel that I was getting from that area was the deer were there. And you know what? When they're there, you got to stay with it. You know what? I went back there after then to continue my quest for BMW, and you know what? That spot is not as hot now. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, they move, you know, during the year. Food sources change. You know, now they're starting to look for does, so those doe bedding areas are heating up. But you know, in October like that, when you get that pattern, you know, and I hate to use the word pattern because I feel like it's overused, but when you start seeing a trend, let's call it, in a certain area, you can definitely move in there and kill a deer. Now, a couple things, Todd, we got to talk about. I made some notes.
Oh, I thought we were finished.
No. You literally used the word literally like 27 times.
Oh, see, that's the only reason why he's even bringing that, because everyone always rips on him for using the same
word. You're stealing my word literally, so you can't do that anymore. Next one, the gum chewing. Everybody asks us, we get a lot of comments and emails. What's with the gum chewing?
I don't know. Keeps me doing something. I don't know. I like chewing my deer gum.
I mean, I don't know. Is this a special type of gum? Is it a scent thing? Or is it just Todd likes to chew gum?
It's called Attract More Bucks gum. And no, actually, I don't know the name of the gum.
Is it deer pea flavored?
It's you know, Tink's deer flavored.
So there's no secret gum chewing. You just like to chew gum.
I like to chew gum.
Fair enough. Next thing is, all of Todd's neighbors are now mad at him because they all had pictures of this deer and they wanted to shoot him, and Todd shot him. So you're
Scott, I'm sorry.
Look out for some stray arrows coming in over the fence.
I am apologizing to Scott. I think he wanted to kill me that day. I mean, really, I mean, this is a perfect example of, I mean, I honestly had one trail camera photo of this deer and it just came in this year. I mean, this deer was not living on my farm, and it came from, and actually your Twitter, that one Twitter follower popped in, and that was 2 farms, almost 3 farms over. He had a photo of that deer. So it was just one of those unique situations where that cold front came in and the deer were on the move, and he moved over.
He made one move too many for him. So guys, that's it for Todd's hunt. Next up, we're gonna jump into Josh Fletcher up in Wisconsin. You know, it's that same weekend, that cold front. He has a great hunt, so let's check in with him now.
Welcome to Bowhunt or Die. I'm Josh Fletcher, and today it is the first weekend in October. I know it's the opener in Illinois. However, I am a Wisconsin pro staffer, so I'm still hunting here in Wisconsin, and today I got a special treat, hunting more public land. I have a great little honey hole that I love to hunt every year, especially during the early season like this, and the only issue is I need a north to a northeast wind, and today I have both. That wind right now is switching from the north out of the east to the northeast, and the wind couldn't be any more perfect for this spot. Just get everything ready, change out, get into the camo, and go hang a stand and get set up in there. Again, I want to do my narration now just because I'm going to be sitting right in the back door of these bucks bedding area. So we're going to slip on in there. Okay, let me recap this evening's hunt. Pretty simple. Game plan didn't operate like I hoped it would. We didn't see a single deer. Well, here we are, round 3. Today's a little bit different for me. I've been hunting public land the last 2 days. Hunting a little piece of private land. It's only about 30 acres. The landowner graciously gave me permission to hunt it for the last couple of years. And on my drive in here, in his driveway is a nice big, in the words of Todd Graf, trophy doe. I'm not after a doe today. There's one buck in particular that I would really like. 2 that I'll take. It's Junior and Captain Morgan. This is that same little piece of property. I think this new set is going to be awesome because with this north wind, what it does, it comes right down a fence line. I'm in a corner of a fence line. It hits that fence line and it swirls back and it kicks back to the west. So even though it's a north wind, it's actually blowing out of the west where I'm sitting at. Hopefully everything is going to work as planned tonight. We know it never does, but that's what makes hunting fun. So let's get ready. Let's head in the stand and see what happens.
Well, we're all set up. I'm hunting a corner right here. This little small piece of property. This wind's coming in this corner. It's kind of swirling on me. Majority of the time it's out of the south. It makes it a difficult spot to hunt because no matter what direction the wind's from, it's usually swirling in here.
All right, here's the recap from tonight's hunt. It was actually an excellent night. I didn't see any bucks, seen about 11 or 12 does, which for me is a lot of deer. I didn't see the Captain Morgan that I was after, but you know what? I know he's still there. It's just a matter of time. The rut's going to be coming on here in the next couple of weeks, so sooner or later he's going to show himself again, and I'm going to be ready.
Just had the junior buck. He's a smaller of the 2. He's down here about 70, 80 yards. He was sparring with another buck. I could only catch a glimpse of him every now and then. I couldn't get him on film just because I can only catch glimpses of him. I just had a big 8 come in, 8-yard shot, drilled him right behind the shoulder. At least it looked good to me. He mule kicked, ran a big loop, stopped out in this marsh grass out here. Yeah, at least I think that's him that was standing out there. That's how I could hear him gurgling on blood. I'm filming him, but he wasn't going down, He just walked behind me a little bit. I couldn't see him anymore. It's got to be the same buck, but the shot looked perfect.
my only issue, I guess I might be a little low. I wish I'd hit him up higher. Well, it's about 2 o'clock now. I shot that buck at about 7:30 this morning. Went back, reviewed the video footage on it. After I shot that buck, he ran out and made a loop. And the shot to me looked perfect initially. Now that buck didn't go down. I watched him stand around. Looked like he was definitely hurting. He'd kind of drop his head a little bit and his eyes would get real heavy. I obviously don't have him hit where I think I do, because if I did, he would have went down right then and there like I initially thought he was going to. When you see that or something just doesn't seem right, back out, get out of there and give him time. Essentially, I'm giving him about 7 hours. Right now, I'm at a parking lot waiting for Josh Toonstra from J&A Archery here in Princeton, Wisconsin. He's gladly accepted to come on out and help me track. I'm a one-man show. I'm my own camera guy, so it's nice to have a second set of eyes helping me look. I got some grayish white hair. It makes me a little nervous when I see that, because that's telling me that's a low hit, and that's basically what we're expecting. I'm thinking I got one lung. That's why we gave him that time. When you doubt your shot, back out, give him time. Today's a beautiful day. It's cool temperatures, sunny out. We got all day. There's no reason to push him, so I'm hoping he bedded down right in there, and hopefully we find him belly up. So. Got the arrow here. A lot of fat and tallow on it, which tells me that's a low hit. All right, we've taken the track now, 200-300 yards, give or take. Here's a spot here where he bedded. This blood is actually relatively fresh, still wet yet. That's in this bed right here, but we didn't hear him jump. I don't think we jumped him. Josh just went around the back corner here and he found another blood spot that he may have just bedded right back down again. So if he bedded down, got up, bedded back down again, that means he's definitely hurting. Versus us jumping him, because he ain't bedding back down again within 5 yards if we jumped him. Right, he's bedded up 3 times within 10 yards, 15 yards that he bedded up. He started to open up. We're actually getting bubbles in the blood now. We're just going to stay on it. We got bubbles actually in the blood, so I know I got lung. We're just going to stay on it here down the trail, and hopefully he's at the end of it. Continued on the track, and disappointing to say the least. I'm not sure if I clipped lung. I have to believe I must have clipped a little bit of it. We got some bubbles. After he bedded down, we were able to pick up that blood trail again. Tracked it through the property I have permission to hunt. Tracked it through another piece of property that I gained permission to track deer on. Tracked it through that one. Continued tracking yet onto, or right at the border of another piece of property that I don't have permission to track deer on. So I'm going to try and locate the land property owner, see if I can maybe pick up the track tomorrow, but as of tonight, it's as far as I can take it. I'm not going to trespass. I'm going to do the right thing, make a phone call, and see if I can pick up the blood trail from where we left off. Made phone contact with that property owner. Gentleman's name is Doug. I want to take the opportunity to thank him. I greatly appreciate both property owners for allowing me to track my buck through their properties. And Doug agreed to meet me in the morning, 8 o'clock the next morning, where we could pick up the track and continue tracking. Doug owns a large property. It's over 300 acres. He's even got a section of the property, several hundred acres, 200 acres, that's a sanctuary. Even he's told me as long as he's owned the property, he's never stepped foot in that parcel. And we picked up where we left off, and it started taking us, the blood trail took us right into his sanctuary. Again, I want to thank him. He's even said that he's never stepped foot into that part, and to allow a stranger to continue tracking her buck into this sanctuary of his speaks a lot for him as a landowner. I knew he wanted me to get this buck as bad as I did, and we continued tracking probably for another 500 to 800 yards after where we initially left off. At this time, from the initial impact to where we finally lost blood, it was well over a mile. Again, it was never a lot of blood. He never bedded down again. He just continued moving through the property, and I feel confident. I couldn't have taken a track any further.
Guys, the reason why you tune into Bowhunt or Die is because we keep it real. Everyone knows that. We've been doing it for 6 years now. And this hunt with Josh, Justin, I mean, as we both just saw and we both just witnessed, and so did you guys, is he did make a mistake. I mean, he absolutely shot the deer in the wrong spot when it was that close to him. But we're going to talk about some of the bad things, and we're going to talk about some of the good things. One of the good things that I want to bring out right off the bat is the fact that he would absolutely not enter somebody else's property, despite the fact that he had blood, without getting permission. For all the young viewers out there, or anyone who watches the show, guys, it's the wrong thing to do to enter somebody else's property without permission. I wouldn't walk into somebody else's house. I wouldn't walk onto somebody else's property.
Well, I mean, the thing to keep in mind, too, is, I mean, different states do have different laws regarding that. So, I mean, in some states, it is legal to trespass, if you want to call it that, if you are trailing an animal. And Wisconsin is not one of those states. Josh did the right thing. He went to the neighboring landowner and got permission. You know, we talk about another right thing that he did, and that's just wait. You know, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the years that's like, oh, I smoked this deer, and he ran out and he stopped and then he just walked away. And I'm like, well, if you smoked him, he's gonna fall over dead within sight. So, you know, sometimes what you think you see isn't actually what happened. He did the right thing, he waited. I mean, unfortunately, they weren't able to recover the deer, but it wasn't because of lack of doing the right thing on the track job. It was just the shot was too low. You know, when they're that close, you have to put that shot higher. I made that exact same shot on a deer a couple years ago. That close, I got single lung. I was extremely fortunate to recover my animal just by sheer luck. We found it while we were walking back to the truck. We had given up on the track job. So, you know, in Josh's case, he wasn't able to recover it, but hopefully it's an experience that he learns from and everybody that watches this show can learn from.
Yeah, and we're not trying to drag this stuff out, but last but not least is, you know, Josh does go on to talk a little bit more about muscle memory. You know, we just don't have enough time in this show to show everything, but you know, muscle memory is real for sure. I mean, and you know, he talks about he spends a lot of time in his backyard doing the same thing. We all do it. You know what? I'm guilty of it. I know I do it, and for years I keep saying I need to set up a stand in my backyard and practice more from a stand. But a lot of times, what do? You walk out your back door. You're standing there. You go to full draw and you let those arrows fly at a normal situation of being ground level. The reality is, and what are we going and doing 99% of the time? We're climbing up into a tree, and then you have the whole angle game, which is completely different. And muscle memory is real, and under high pressure situations, you go back to doing the thing that you train the most in. Full draw, broadside deer, I know the spot I want to shoot, and whew, I let that arrow go. And that's completely different when you're here and that deer is here. It's a completely different spot where you need to put your pin. So, lesson to be learned, you got to practice in more situations other than just standing in your backyard.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, and you have to try to remember the angle that you're at. The higher up you are and the closer that deer is to you, the higher you have to put your pin on that deer's side. I mean, everybody always talks about aim for the exit hole and not the entry hole. I mean, Josh was aiming for what he thought was the heart, but he was just too low. He wasn't able to recover the deer. So just something for you guys to keep in mind out there. Try to practice as many real-world scenarios as possible, and hopefully you don't have to experience what Josh experienced, because it's not a fun thing.
At the end of the day, guys, we're here to teach it. You know what? I mean, we want you to learn from some of our mistakes. So that's all I got.
So next up, guys, we're going to check in with Tim Conley down in Indiana. Tim's been hunting hard. He's got some pretty cool footage, so let's check it out now.
Saturday, October the 17th. It's 34 degrees and the barometer's at 30.29. It's dead still down here on this creek stand where I'm at. I've already had some coons messing around underneath me and some wood ducks landing, swimming up the creek. It's time to turn this camera around, get serious, and get to work. come down through here and right into my trap. My lanes unmowed earlier in the summer. Come right down them. Went right up into that top field. I even drew my bow back and had to think long and hard about shooting her. But we're kind of low on doe population here, so didn't really want to shoot one this early in the season. Should I decide to shoot one, I'd rather let a buck chase her around for a little while here in a few weeks.
Well, Todd, first we had Tim and Troy with the camera on the ground that the deer was sniffing. Now we got Tim Conley with the 360 flying selfie in the tree stand. I give up. I'm just giving up. I'm just sticking with my regular camera, my Tacticam. You guys keep all the fancy footage. I'm going to worry about killing deer.
I'm not giving up. Tim and Troy, I'm coming for you. I got my first killer ground footage of an awesome buck. So
Hey, you already killed a buck this year, and Tim and Troy haven't killed
I
one.
know.
So
I
you're
got
already
them
one.
right
You're
now.
already one up on.
And I already talked to Conley. He's gonna make me one of those things.
Well, Tim's definitely got some great camera work going on up there in the tree. You know, hopefully he starts seeing some of these bigger bucks. I mean, guys, they're moving. I mean, everybody that we talk to, people are shooting big deer. They're seeing big deer. It's the time to get out in the woods. Right. So, guys, with all the hunting action done for this week, of course, we want to jump right into the trophy photos and thank a couple of people that sent in their pictures. So let's do it.
Ben Diosi,
Ben Wegner,
Chang Lee,
Cody Buchanan,
Ryan Bales,
Sammy DeVitro,
Wes Gallops. Hey guys, those are some great photos. If you'd like to see yourself right here in an episode of Bowhunt or Die, it's $100 to send the truck directly to our office. Attention, Todd.
No, just make them out to cash and we'll get you guys an episode. But congratulations to everybody that sent in their photos. We try to pick some of the better ones and get them in there. So if you guys have a good trophy photo, make sure you submit it through bowhunting.com, our Facebook page, or email it to info@bowhunting.com. Todd, end of the episode, it's the rut. What's your advice? Your number one tip?
Right now, number one tip, stay longer.
Stay longer.
Stay
all day
longer.
sits. What do you think? All day sits?
Stay as long as you can stay.
I'm going for all day sits. I would say my number one tip, and something that I'm probably not going to follow my own advice tomorrow afternoon because I'm dumb, but it's, you know, get into those doe areas. I feel like those bucks are really starting to hit those doe bedding areas now. So, you know, these areas where we've typically been seeing a ton of rubs and a ton of scrapes and these kind of buck staging areas, I just feel like they're probably going to be moving out of them into the more doe areas, looking for those does to breed. So, unfortunately, tomorrow...
The real question is, do you got one of those spots planned out?
No, I don't. And that's part of the reason that I'm not 100% confident in the spot I'm going to hunt tomorrow afternoon, because it's a new farm, and where I failed this year was on my trail cameras. What was I doing? I was looking for bucks all summer long. So I'd go through my pictures and I'd be like, buck, you know, buck. Any doe photos got deleted. So now here I am sitting in November scratching my head going, I have no idea where the does are even really at. So
I know where I'm going.
I'm going back to a buck area and hoping one is still in there. Saturday I will be in a known doe area. So good luck to everybody out there hunting. The rut is finally here. The bucks are hitting the dirt.
I know we're dragging this on, but you know what, to think about what Justin said, some of you may be sitting in your chairs now going, gosh, you know what, I don't have a doe spot. But remember, if you don't have that doe spot, any kind of feeders between two potential doe areas can be really hot too.
Feeders not meaning like corn spinning
no,
feeders.
Not feeders.
We're talking about funnels.
Like funnels.
Two funnels between bedding areas.
Raceways, call them whatever you want to call them. But I mean, fence lines, you guys got my point.
I got it. We got you, Ty. We understand what you're saying. Guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. We'll see you next week.
For more exciting action, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and receive live updates from our team members, as well as the latest happenings in the bow hunting and archery world. Be sure to share your photos, stories, and experiences as well. And don't forget to pick up your official bowhunting.com and Bowhunt or Die gear by visiting bowhunting.com/gear. We have a full selection of hats, shirts, decals, wristbands, and much more.
And action.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
He went down right there on film. I mean, I'm telling you what, I don't know what to say. I'll tell you what I'll say.